With so many tools out there, Excel, SQL, Power BI, Google Analytics, Python, machine learning, and the list goes on. It's easy to feel overwhelmed trying to figure out where to start and what to focus on. Every day, new technologies and platforms pop up, each promising to be a game changer in data analytics. But how do you know which ones are worth your time? What should you learn first, and how much is enough? Well, you are in the right place. Hello everyone, welcome to WS Cube Tech channel. My name is Ayushi Jain, and today in this video I am going to break down the data analytics roadmap for 2025 and help you navigate this sea of tools with confidence. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly where to focus on and how to build a solid foundation for your career in data analytics. So let's get started without wasting more time. So now before we get started, if you are a data enthusiast and you want to join a channel where you can get latest job updates, cheat sheets, note, interview guides and so much more related to data, then WS Cube Tech has recently launched their WhatsApp channel. You can check it out now and join it using the link given in our description. Now today we are going to talk about data analytics roadmap. Before we start with data analytics roadmap, let's understand what is data analytics. Guys, if I say it in a format of a definition, it would be a long definition. Let's break it down into simple words. Data analytics is nothing but when you convert raw data into meaningful insights, that is what data analytics is. Any business nowadays take decisions based on data. So when you take these decisions based on data, all the entire process that you perform before taking the decisions, the cleaning of data, pre-processing of data, understanding what are your needs, what are your questions that are needed to be answered using your data. All these things comes in the procedure of data analytics. Today, we'll be talking about what are the different tools that are required to become a data analyst. We all know that there are so many tools in the market out there, and it can easily get overwhelming, like what to learn and how much to learn, especially like SQL is really very vast. Power BI, it's again vast. How much of the DAX function needs to be learned, how much of SQL needs to be learned. We'll be covering all of that in our today's session. So let's get started without wasting more time. So the first tool that I'm going to mention over here is number one is Excel. Okay. Microsoft Excel is something that is going to be really very important, and it can be your starting point. Excel is something that we are all familiar with. We have once seen its interface, and the interface is really very simple to understand. So here you won't be learning the tool. Basically, it wouldn't take a lot of time for you to learn the tool, but you can focus on the analytics concepts in Excel. In Excel, you can you can learn about several things. For example, formulas in Excel. You can learn about what is Power Query Editor. How do we perform data modeling in Excel? How can we create pivot charts and pivot tables and charts? So pivot tables and charts, and we can also focus on creating dashboards, which includes slicers, timelines, and lots of other things as well. So get started with the basics of Excel, understand its interface, that how the interface works. Some basic features are there, like conditional formatting is there, data validation is there. So get yourself familiarized with all these basics concepts, and then you can jump into different kinds of formulas that are there in Excel. You can learn Power Query Editor, which allows you to pull data from various sources and you can clean your data there. Then you can learn about data modeling, like if your data contains multiple files, how you can model your data. Then comes your pivot tables and charts and dashboards. So after you have modeled your data, and now if you want to create a dashboard out of your data, you need to create pivot tables for that, or even just for reporting, you need to create pivot tables. So familiarize yourself with what pivot tables are, how do they work, how to create one, and then how to create different kinds of charts. In the case of charts, focus on which kind of chart is used when. When do we use bar chart? When do we use a pie chart? When do we use any different kind of chart, be it line chart or histogram or even a tree map as well. So familiarize yourself with all these concepts. It can over here easily take you, the duration over here can easily take you 30 to 45 days to learn Excel. Now, in case of Excel, after completing learning your Excel, you can also focus on creating projects. So projects are also something which I'm mentioning along with the tools, that after completion of each of your tool, you can work on two kinds of projects. So two projects would be my suggestion. One would be guided project. Like you can go through YouTube and watch any of the guided projects, or another one should be unguided project, where you have researched for the data set yourself. You have created questions and now you're trying to create a dashboard or a report out of it. So that would be my suggestion for starting with Excel. So Excel will easily take you 30 to 45 days. That means 1 month approx. But learning Excel thoroughly would be really very helpful, as Excel is one of the tool of the Microsoft. And when you'll be learning Power BI, you'll be already familiar with the concepts of Power Query Editor or data modeling as well. So start with Excel, good tool. Then after Excel, go for SQL. Or if you can do it both together, you can do it both together as well. Your second tool over here could be SQL. So in case of SQL, what do we need to learn? Let's also discuss that. So in case of SQL, start with the basics of SQL. What are CRUD operations? How do we retrieve data? The basic operators in SQL, operators like how does in operator work, between operator work, like operator, and or not, where clause. These would come in the category of operators, not the where clause, but these other ones will come in the category of operators. Then get yourself familiarized with the functions in SQL. Okay, again for your aggregation or for string functions, date and time functions, we have functions in SQL. Familiarize yourself with them. Learn about what is group by, how does it works. Group by along with where and having concepts, obviously. And then learn about joins in SQL. Joins are really very important, often asked in the interviews. How many different kinds of joins are there, how to implement them. Work on the questions as well. How you can work on the questions, we'll also discuss that. So joins, work on joins, and after joins comes set operators. So set operations like union, except, intersect, all these operations are something that you need to get yourself familiarized with. You can learn about subquery next. Then comes common table expression, and lastly comes your window functions, the most difficult one here. Okay. So you can learn about window functions, you can learn about views, what are stored procedures. So these could be something that could be really very helpful in your SQL journey. So learn about start with the basics, CRUD operations. That what are CRUD operations? You don't have to obviously create a database as a data analyst. You do not have to update or delete the values, but still you need to be familiarized with all these concepts. Learn about theoretical concepts as well, like what is normalization in SQL, or how do you optimize a query in SQL. Then talking about again the practical part, operator functions, how you can group by along with where clause, having clause, use joins, how to implement joins in SQL, use set operations like except, intersect, union all, union. We also have subqueries, CTEs, window functions, what are views in SQL, how are they different from tables, and the stored procedures. These are something that you can cover in SQL. These could be again really very helpful. But now these will easily take you 60 to 90 days. So SQL takes you the most of the time over here. Why? Because these concepts are, when we implement it on a one data set, these concepts are not that difficult, but become really very difficult when we practice them on different platforms. So here in SQL, when you go for a data analyst interviews, in case of SQL, they ask you to, answer questions based on time limit, where you'll be given 1 hour and you have to answer 3 questions or 5 questions for 2 hours. Okay, depends upon how they have created the test for you. So in that case scenario, there are some websites like HackerRank, there's LeetCode, SQL Zoo for basics, and then there is also Data Lemur. So these are some of the websites where you can practice questions in SQL. Make sure to practice a lot, because SQL is really very important, and even with the interview point of view, it is going to be really very important. If you plan to even become not a data analyst but go for Power BI developer roles, even then SQL is important. So even if you're not planning to learn other tools and you are going with just Power BI or Tableau developer roles, still SQL is something that will come in handy, and still you will have to learn SQL. So SQL is something which is mandatory here. So I'm marking it star. Obviously, Excel is also mandatory, because here knowing about the basic functions, formulas, creating a dashboard in Excel is really very important, because even though in the industry we are using these tools like Power BI and Tableau, which are used with big data, But still, stakeholders prefer to have their dashboards or reports in Excel. And also, Excel comes in handy in lots of ways. So I would recommend that also learn Excel. So focus a lot on Excel. This is also mandatory, although everything that we are going to talk about is going to be mandatory here. Okay, so start with these two. It can easily take you 2 to 3 months to cover these. You can also build a project on SQL. Again, go for one guided and one unguided, or you can just go for one guided as well for SQL, because these websites are more important in terms of SQL when you are practicing questions. So all the questions needs to be practiced really very thoroughly. Like it will include all the different kinds of concepts that you have learned entirely here. Okay, so yeah, if we are talking here, it will easily take you 2 to 3 months to cover both Excel and SQL along with the projects. Now let's move forward and talk about our next tool that you should learn as a data analyst. Here we'll be talking about visualization tool. As a data analyst, you should be really very clear with one of the visualization tool. You should know one of the visualization tool, be it Power BI, be it Tableau. So here I'm mentioning both of them. We have Power BI and we have Tableau as well. Now talking about in case of Power BI, what all things do we need to learn? In case of Power BI, start with again Power Query Editor. Then go for data modeling. Familiarize yourself with the different types of cardinalities which are there. What are different types of relationships, one to one, one to many to one, many to many. These things are really very important. Initially, start with also knowing that what are the different types of connectors that Power BI can connect with. You can go for some theoretical concepts as well initially, like what is the difference between Power BI desktop and Power BI Pro versions and premium versions. What is the difference between Power BI and Power BI Fabric is also something that you can get yourself familiarized with. And then you can get started with different connectors that are there in Power BI, Power Query Editor, how you can pull data from various sources. Power Query Editor also itself will take a lot of time. Then comes data modeling. After data modeling, you can jump into visualization in Power BI. Yet you might be thinking that why I'm not mentioning DAX. So after visualization, go for DAX, because even in visuals at a lot of places you can utilize DAX. So I just generally prefer that after visualization, go for DAX, because visualization allows you to, structure your data whichever you have modeled. So the entire process becomes easy. But when it comes to create KPIs, when it comes to create new columns or calculated columns, new tables, that's where DAX will come in handy. So you can get familiarize yourself with visualization and DAX both. Now in case of DAX, there is a lot of confusion in what to learn. Here you can go with the basic aggregation, start with the aggregations like sum, count, average, minimum, maximum. Then comes your iterators here. Iterators like iterating functions, sum x, average x, count x, minimum x, maximum x. These comes as the iterators because they work on each of the rows from your data. Then comes your calculate function, your filter function, some time intelligence function like dates and period or dates between or date add as well. You can also go for MTD and YTD kind of functions as well. Those are really very helpful. So basically, it's like some 10 to 15 DAX functions that are important, and then their combination makes a lots of things for you. So these could be something that could be really very helpful. Also including this, go for all selected, and all except as well. Okay. So these could be some of the functions in the category of DAX here. Now, talking about projects. In case of projects here in Power BI, again go for one guided, or you can go for one or two guided, and obviously again one or two unguided. Not half, but one or two. Okay. So one or two. I would rather put a hyphen here so that none of you gets confused. So 1 to 2 and 1 to 2. Okay, so 1 to 2 guided and 1 to 2 unguided projects are something that can be really very helpful in case of Power BI. Power BI can again take you 30 to 45 days. The amount of time that took you in Excel, Power BI can take you the similar amount of time, that 30 to 35 days. Actually 45, not 35. So yeah. 30 to 45 days, make sure to create good projects in Power BI. This is where you can showcase your visualization skills. A lot of your dashboard should include a creative visualization. So Power BI is the place where you can show some creativity. Same goes for Tableau as well. Here in case of Tableau, if I recommend what all things that you need to learn in Tableau. Acha, remember one thing, that you need to either choose this or this. Okay, it's one of the tool that you need to choose. If you're going with Power BI, then just go for Power BI. It's not mandatory to learn both of them. So in case of Tableau, you can start with getting familiarized with different data types that are there in Tableau. What is the difference between measure and a dimension, how to create calculated fields, how to create parameters, how to create charts, how to create navigational dashboards, obviously, how to utilize filters, slicers, maps. So these could be something that you need to learn in case of Tableau. The calculated fields are kind of similar to what we are learning in DAX. Calculated field allows us to create new columns or even a new card value as well, like KPIs or any matrices as well. So focus a lot on calculated field here. And even here, I would recommend the same thing, that for the project, it would take 1 to 2 guided and 1 to 2 unguided. Here you can also focus on any of the domains as well. It's like any domain that you want to, become a data analyst in. Suppose you're interested in healthcare or sports or maybe hospitality. Any domain you can pick here, and based on that you can create projects. And if you are focusing on multiple of domains, like if you are someone ki, I want to just get a job, whichever domain it is, then you can focus on multiple domains here. Like one project could be in hospitality, one could be in healthcare, one could be e-commerce dashboard as well, and sales dashboard too. So there can be different kinds of projects that you can create. Different types of domains are there. Whichever you want to focus on, you can focus on that. Okay. Again, for Tableau, I would again say that 30 to 45 days it would take in order to learn it and to create projects on it. Okay. Here, when I'm saying 30 to 45 days, don't think that we are just counting 1 hour a day. At least 2 to 3 hours every day would be something that would be helpful. Now, how to break your 2 to 3 hours every day, that also is something which we'll be discussing. Now, after completing your visualization tool, what should be your next tool here? Let's also discuss that. So far we have talked about the content of 3 to 4 months here, that this part so far, Excel, SQL or one of the visualization tool, be it Power BI or Tableau, will take you 3 to 4 months. Okay, let's move forward now. Next over here is statistics. Okay. Statistics is also something that you need to get familiarized with when it comes to learning data analytics. Now, I'm not saying that you need to go hardcore into statistics, but just the basic topics here, like what is descriptive statistics. Okay, descriptive statistics, inferential statistics. In case of descriptive statistics, we can talk about topics like how does mean, mode, median works. You can learn about dispersion of data. Distributions are something that you can focus on. That what all different kinds of distributions are there. And in your inferential statistics, you can learn about hypothesis testing. What is sample and population? What are the different types of tests are there, like Z test, T test, chi-square test, ANOVA. So these could come in the category of your inferential statistics. So these are some of the basic things that you must know as a data analyst, that I would say here. Having a basic knowledge of probability will also be beneficial. So I'm also mentioning basics of probability. So these are something that can come in handy. This can easily take you 7 to 14 days. Okay. So this can easily take you 7 to 14 days. If you want, you can work on different kinds of questions here that are there in statistics, and you can apply different tests on them to conclude your hypothesis as well. Okay. So this is statistics up next after learning statistics. So these were something that was really very mandatory for the role of data analyst, whether it was Excel, SQL, Power BI, and statistics. Next thing which I'm going to discuss over here is not something which is mandatory, but something that can come in handy considering the job market right now. Since the job market is really very competitive right now, how you can set yourself apart for that, you need to learn this tool which is known as Python. Okay, so here you can focus on Python, its libraries plus ML. Okay, because just the basic Python is not more than sufficient. Exploratory data analysis, you can do the same in other tools as well. So not just exploratory data analysis. If you're learning Python, go for the basics of ML as well. Understand what are the different kinds of algorithms that are there in machine learning. ML itself is vast, but you don't have to get too much into it. But learning just some of the algorithms would be more than sufficient. So here in case of Python I'm not marking as mandatory. There are a lot of people who are data analysts and they do not need to learn Python to become a data analyst. But right now, since the job market is really very competitive, so that's why I'm recommending Python here. In case of Python, starts with the very basics in Python. Basics like what are variables, how to write a print statement, what are different operators, control flow, how to use conditional statements, how to use loops in Python. Okay, familiarize yourself with the different types of data types that are there in Python: string, integer, float, tuples, sets, dictionaries, lists. They all comes in different data types. And then familiarize yourself with functions in Python. What are different modules in Python, and how to handle a file in Python. So file handling is also something that can come in handy. Okay. Then comes your important libraries. Libraries like NumPy, Pandas, Matplotlib, and Seaborn can be helpful when it comes to exploratory data analysis. Like if you want to perform exploratory data analysis on data, these libraries could be helpful. Then if you also want to perform web scraping, in that case, libraries like Beautiful Soup or Selenium, Scrappy can also come in handy. Like you need to just learn one of them. I think Beautiful Soup is the best option. You can go for Beautiful Soup here to scrap data from the websites. You can also perform sentimental analysis using libraries like TextBlob or NLTK, which is Natural Language Toolkit. Then comes the part of machine learning. In case of machine learning, you can learn libraries like SciPy. So here I'll be mentioning for machine learning, you can learn libraries like SciPy, TensorFlow. Again, NLTK would be really very helpful in case of when you're applying machine learning algorithms on sentimental data. Okay, so these would be something that can come in handy here. I hope the Python part is also clear, that you can start with the very basics, go for control flow, data types, functions, modules, file handling. These would comes in the basics of Python. Then to get into data analysis using Python, we will be needing libraries like NumPy, Pandas, Matplotlib, Seaborn. Plotly is also one of them. Okay, you can also learn Plotly. It's also a good library for visualization. These three actually comes for visualization. This one is for manipulation of data. This one is for scientific and mathematical calculation of data. For web scraping, you can go for Beautiful Soup or Selenium or for Scrappy as a framework. For sentimental analysis, TextBlob is the basic library. For advanced sentimental analysis, NLTK is something that you can go for. For machine learning, you can go for libraries like SciPy, TensorFlow, and NLTK as well. So I hope so far it's clear that how you can learn Python. For Python, how much time will it take? So here it can easily take you 2 to 3 months to learn Python along with all these things. So these all can take a lot of time, because these could be your next step towards the careers in data science or machine learning engineer as well. after you have worked for 5 to 6 years in analytics, you might be planning to grow more in your career, or if you are planning to upskill yourself, in that case, these could come in really very handy. That if you have a basic knowledge of machine learning or web scraping or exploratory data analysis, then this could be really very helpful. Even Python itself can be really very helpful for growth in your career. So Python is not something which is mandatory, but if you want to learn, then it will take you 2 to 3 months along with the projects over here. You can create some basic projects with the basics of Python. One exploratory data analysis is definitely required. One simple project on how you can scrap data from the reviews of like Amazon or Flipkart and maybe create a sentimental analysis based on that to check how the product has performed for the people based on their sentiments, and then maybe one or two projects on machine learning as well. So in Python, you can create multiple of the projects, and Python could be really an added advantage to your resume. So I do recommend learning Python. Here we have talked about Excel, SQL, Power BI or Tableau, and Python along with machine learning. Now, if you're looking for a source that where do I learn all these things, I have talked about the duration, I have talked about the topics, but if you're looking for a source that where you can learn all these things, then WS CubeTech has recently launched their data analytics mentorship program, where we'll be covering all these tools along with the projects as well. And we'll also be helping you with the placements too. So if you are someone who is interested in this course, then the link to this course is given in our description. You can check it out right now. Now, these were everything that are the different tools that are there in data analytics that will be sufficient for you to get started as a job role, as a fresher in data analytics. But now, talking about how you can dedicate your time. Suppose if you have 3 hours each day, okay? Suppose I'm considering that if you have 3 hours to dedicate each day, or maybe an extra time on weekends, or 2 hours each day and extra time on weekends, then in that case, I would recommend to learn for 1 hour, 1.5 hour to implement, 1 hour for learning, 1.5 hours to implementing, and lastly, why I'm saving this half an hour, 30 minutes is for getting yourself updated. Why I'm saving this 30 minutes is to get yourself updated with the latest trends, whatever is going on in the job market, in the data analytics world, socialize as in on LinkedIn socialize. So you can post on LinkedIn, you can build more connections. Networking is really very important here. So here I'm dedicating your 30 minutes to networking. Okay, nowadays, getting a job is really very difficult. But if you have a good network where there are people who can refer you, you can always rely on that, because when you get a referral, there is 10 times more chances that your resume will obviously get selected compared to when you apply directly for the company. So networking is something that is really very helpful, whether you are into data analytics or data science, or you are planning to get into web development, app development, digital marketing as well. Networking is something that is going to be really very helpful in your entire journey. So start building your network from day one and start connecting with people. Start posting about any small achievements that you make in your learning journey, in your daily lives as well on LinkedIn, to connect with more people, and start talking to people who are already working as a data analyst in good companies. You get to know about their everyday work, what tools do they work with. Any company that you might be interested in, get in touch with the people who are working as a data analyst there, and it can be that conversation. Make sure to keep going on in the conversation about what is their roles. Don't ask ChatGPT to create a template for you. Just go natural for that. Ask about the basic things like what all tools you're working on, what kind of projects that you deal with, what kind of analytics work is there in your specific domain, because there are like different domains in the company where data analysts are there. So what particular domain that particular person is working on, what projects are there in that company, and you can talk about different things that can help you build the network with that person. So that's why I would say that if you have 3 hours, dedicate 1 hour for your learning, 1.5 hours, use more hours for implementation than learning. If you're learning a content of 20 minutes, take 40 to 45 minutes to implement it. So take a lot of time in implementing anything that you think that I will just learn it, I will just see it, and it would be really very easy and it would come to me really very easily. it wouldn't happen. You will have to learn to implement it. You'll start implementing on your own with these tools, it gets much more complicated, and only implementation can help you with that fear of when you will be applying these concepts in the interviews as well in front of an interviewer. And lastly, dedicate your last 30 minutes for networking, and or you can stay updated as well, and you can maybe post or do something like that in your last 30 minutes. So hopefully all these things are clear. We have talked about the different tools that are there in data analytics, how much content to learn in them, how much duration will it take to learn them. It will easily take you 4 to 6 months or 8 months as well, depending upon how quickly you grasp the concepts and the logics, and how quickly you work on the different questions, projects, topics as well. So these are some of the tools that we have discussed along with the preparation time. So make sure that this should be a preparation time. Even if it is 2 hours, just make sure that you will dedicate like 30-45 minutes to your learning. Again, 45 to 50 minutes to implementation, and then rest of your time for networking. After you're done doing all these things, next comes your resume. That means application, applying for the roles of data analytics. So before applying, first of all, make sure you're ready for the interviews. For that, you can go through mock interviews. Since AI is working so good right now in the market, you can go to any of these chatbots, whether it is ChatGPT, Gemini, or DeepSeek as well. You can ask them to become an interviewer for any XYZ role, give them the job description and ask them to be an interviewer, and ask them to ask you questions. For the mock interviews, you can work on different types of questions. You can work on behavioral questions where you can utilize STAR methodology. You can work on technical questions. Also, you can work on guesstimates as well. Nowadays, guesstimates are also really very popular in the field of data. So some guesstimate questions are also something that can helpful. So prepare for mock interviews using any of the AI chatbot. Okay. Then comes your resume. Make sure your resume is ATS friendly. ATS is nothing but an application tracking systems where there are a set of keywords which are given to the system, and if your resume contains those keywords, then your resume will be selected. So before your resume comes to any human contact, it is first being separated by an ATS system. So make sure your resume is ATS friendly. You need to keep a lot of things in mind to create an ATS friendly resume. The size of the font, how you're formatting your resume. If you're using abbreviations, you need to also write the full forms as well over there. No utilization of graphics is something that is also important, as ATS cannot read the graphics. So a lot of things are there which is to be considered while creating an ATS friendly resume. Comment down ATS friendly resume to, or a video on ATS friendly resume, if you want me to create a video on how you can build an ATS friendly resume. Okay. After creating the resume, don't just create one, create a multiple of them. Tailor them based on the job requirements and based on your previous experiences as well. Okay. And then apply for the roles. For applying for the roles, different job portals are, you can go for LinkedIn, Naukri, InstaHire, Cutshort, Indeed. There are many of them. So you can get started with LinkedIn. Most of the jobs are there. And one best option for searching for a role in any of the city would be Google. Okay. Simply go to Google and search for data analytics vacancies in whatever city you're living in. So if I'm living in Jaipur, search for data analytics vacancies in Jaipur. If you're living in Delhi, search for data analytics vacancies in Delhi, and you'll be getting a lots of job postings there, which would be on different platforms. Some would be on in LinkedIn, some would be on Naukri, some would be on Slice, some would be on InstaHire, maybe Cutshort, maybe. So there could be different platforms where these jobs could be. So you can go through these job platforms, check for the job description. Even if 60 to 70% of your skills are matching with whatever has been posted in job description, you are a good fit to apply for that role. Okay, and make sure when you're creating an ATS friendly resume, your score lies between 70 to 90%, or more would be much more appreciable. Okay, so even for ATS friendly resume, make sure that your score should be 70 or more. So guys, this was our end-to-end roadmap from understanding what is data analytics to tools that are there in data analytics to talking about how much duration will it take to learn each of the tool to projects and your learning patterns, and lastly working on interviews and applying for the job roles. We have covered everything in this video. I hope this video was helpful for you. And if this video was helpful for you, do like, share, and subscribe. Comment and tell us about your feedback on this video. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for more such informative sessions. Thank you.